Hey y'all, I haven't done video in a while, but I'm coming up Monday on a fat loss phase, or a cut, if you will. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how that's structured and what I'm doing right now. Oh, kitten. Anyway, so right now I'm a little over halfway through a active rest. So it's a 2-week phase that I do usually these days every 6 months or so, where like week 1 I might do a little bit of easy training, and then week 2 no training at all really, except some like easy cardio if I feel like it for fun. Like a couple like little body weight things for fun, and like just getting normal, like just being active like it says is like fine. And it's essentially just a vacation from working out. So this has a few benefits, in that basically it serves to drop any and all types of fatigue from the system that is the body, that are related to training or not. So like actual physical wear and tear on muscles and joints heals up a lot. Sheer mental fatigue, like both just the psychological component and just physical wear and tear in the brain of the focus and everything that you use related to training, those heal up a lot, so you come back way more motivated, and just come back really wanting to like go hard at the gym, if you enjoy the gym, that is, for another productive like several months of training. And then also importantly, it can bring down how to put this, it resensitizes you to training stimuli a lot. So like, for example, at the end of my last phase of training, my last block, which was hypertrophy, like focus on muscle growth, toward the end of that, even with the like roughly every 4 or 5 week 1 week off periods, deloads, toward the end of that, start needing more and more sets for any given muscle group on a given day, and pushing those closer to failure to get the same type of results from earlier in that training block. So for example, if this coming week, I'm willing to bet that after 3 sets of like pull-ups, for example, I'm probably like, my back is probably going to be like sore the next day, gonna be like super pumped, and gonna be able every set to feel that like mind muscle connection, that tension in the muscle like during the movement. Further into a training cycle though, like for example at the end of this last block I had, it might take like 7, 8, something like that sets, depending on the individual genetics, how you're training, your training quality, blah 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 blah. So that's all really good, and having this 2-week off active rest right before a diet specifically is great. I'm gonna just set this down. Is great, because going into the fat loss phase, I really want to be able to have the best bang for my buck with regards to training, because during fat loss, goal is not to gain muscle at all, unless you're like a beginner in whatever way, or you're on steroids, or just have really great genetics for that. Building any sort of significant muscle while losing significant fat when you're already like pretty lean like I am, it's not going to happen. The main goal is muscle retention. So and this will make more sense once I discuss some of the other components, but so I want to be able to do as little as possible to gain that, to keep that muscle, because the more you have to do for the same or less results, the worse. The more fatigue, the more stress, the more time wasted, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's what the active rest is for. Basically just a reset for the system. I didn't need to get all nuanced and sciencey with it, but that's what I do. So anyway, so with my fat loss diet, I'm planning it to be a little over, a little over 3 months, a little under 4, and something like 15 weeks. It's going to be 4 weeks of dieting and training, followed by 1 week of deload, like maintenance, weight maintenance diet, easy training, backing off. And the way I have it planned right now, I'm really excited about, because this is the smartest way I've ever went about this process. And going into it, I'm at my most like mentally well state ever for going into a fat loss phase, because this is, I've matured enough now and done all my healing or whatever to the point where now I'm like super happy with how my body is already. I just want to do this to drop any fat I've gained over the last like year of gaining like around 10 pounds, to like add a little bit of muscle mass and like improve my training and all that. And also just because I think it's cool. I think it's cool to do all this like sciencey stuff and change how I look and get that really rare, exotic, like super lean look. It's just for like fun for me at this point, as opposed to like old attempts where I had a whole sorts of like body dysmorphia and all that. So that's already really good, both in terms of being able to go about this more sustainably and smarter, and also because it reduces the actual stress that I'm going to be experiencing during this. And minimizing stress in general is a super good way to improve your improve your health and life in general, but it also improves gains. Tons of stress directly they increase fatigue, which it hampers your training results in a lot of ways. It messes with like how your body composition goes, can interfere with sleep, which that's really not good, because sleep is like the most important thing for any sort of athletic or any sort of performance at all, really, along with the other like basics like getting enough protein, actually training, so on and so forth. So less stress, and that's going to be a key feature in all this, along with sustainability. So then there's also the component, the other components here, which are the more practical, like actual concrete ones. And those, because I don't know how I'm going to upload this, I'm going to touch on those in part 2.